Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
We spoke with the Compass Rose Theater back in September of 23, and a lot of water has gone over that dam. We wanted to stop back and check and see what was up, and we're here with Barbara Weber, who is the executive director. And I want to thank you very much for inviting me into your rehearsal tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to have you.
You know, this is pretty exciting. Compass Rose Theater has been a part of the Annapolis arts scene for 15 plus years now.
Yeah.
I know Lucinda Mary Brown had started it way back when, and she was the creative director. Last time we talked, I think she was just on the verge of stepping aside or was thinking
she was
about
starting
it.
to hand over the reins.
Right. Reluctantly, it's your baby.
It's very hard when it's your baby. Bless her heart.
Oh, it absolutely is. But give us a quick snapshot. Where is Compass Rose Theater today? I mean, obviously, okay, we're at the Annapolis Friends Meeting House on Dubois Road, but where is the theater now?
So last year was a big changing year for us because thankfully, several years ago, our board president, Deborah Fortier, and Lucinda had worked out a deal with Maryland Hall for us to find a home at Maryland Hall, which was fantastic. And after the pandemic, everything had shut down. So we had to build back from literally nothing, right? You've gotten rid of stuff and you have no place to go. So that was a lovely place to be for several years. But last year, then Maryland Hall started renovating. So we got displaced all over again. I'm like, this cannot be our ongoing story. We are going to stop that and find our home. So we're going to the mall this year with our first 3 shows, and then back to Maryland Hall in the Bowen, which will be renovated, which we're really excited about that too.
Okay, the mall is getting kind of weird in my mind here, okay?
Yeah.
It's no longer the mall that you used to know, without giving away your age or my age or something. I mean, it's not a place to hang out on Saturday nights or Friday nights for kids anymore. I mean, I guess it is to a degree. But, I mean, they've got the Dick's House of Sports, which is just opening up, which has the rock climbing walls and the golf cages and everything else like that. The SPCA has a place in there. Fellow, which works with disabled adults, they've got a place in there. Live Arts Maryland, Compass Rose. I mean, there's
New Village Academy.
Right. There's going to be a darn high school
there's
up on top of the container
there.
store.
Exactly. Yeah, it is a different place. And I think it's, to me, it looks to me like it's community oriented and entertainment oriented. That's what I'm feeling like. And so we're a good fit there to bring live entertainment.
Well, it is. I know that malls have been always trying to reinvent themselves and to make them more attractive.
Yeah.
I know I read in the news about Towson Mall is losing all of their stores and stuff like that. And Annapolis Mall has really done a good job of making this a community center.
Yes.
To be able to do something. I mean, no, it doesn't have everything. And yes, it certainly does have shopping, and that is the core thing. But they have, they've got the gyms and the adoption centers and everything else, which is just absolutely fabulous. And it gives you some reason to go to the mall beyond, I need a new wallet or a purse or a belt or something like that. Where are you in the mall? You are with Live Arts Maryland, right?
Yeah, we'll be using the Live Arts Maryland space, which is near the Container Store. And
just below the high school.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fine. And in fact, the general manager of Annapolis Mall, and then I've been talking to the marketing director about doing dinner and a show there. And when you talk about them being community, they were saying, well, let me connect you to the library and see what y'all can do with the library. And let me connect you to the ballet studio and see let me connect you to this restaurant. So I feel like it's going to be a really good home for us.
That is exciting. And I know that I talked to Ernie Green about Live Arts Maryland in that space at the mall. I know that he loved it. And it was just, you're able to do a little bit more. And he's very similar to you with Live Arts Maryland in that, kind of shuttled around a little bit. We're at St. Anne's, we're here, we're at Maryland Hall, we're over here, which is, awesome to have a space. And it's a big space.
It is.
Much bigger than, I think, larger than you had at Maryland Hall.
Yeah,
right?
was Maryland Hall 60 seats? Sometimes we squeezed in 80, but we found out we couldn't do that anymore. So we had to go back to 60. But Live Arts is like 120 to 150, but it'll be like tables and chairs. I'm really excited about that. We're going to build a little bit of a stage floor in there to make it more theater oriented because their stuff was more, cabaret, chorale. And we love Ernie. He's fabulous. He's a great creator and a good partner.
Well, it sounds like you've got some plans that are bubbling up, perhaps dinner theater or, certainly cocktails. I know that they can get the liquor licenses to do, which is,
They serve cocktails there. Yes,
um,
people have asked about that. "Can I get wine?" I said, "Yes, you can." I think they can do wine and beer there. So yeah, I think it's a great home. And you think about, people go to the mall to see a movie. So now as you're going to walk down, you're going to see posters of our shows. Like you see
but
posters of the
the
movies and come see it live. Yeah.
movies are great. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got the wonderful film festival that comes into
Oh
town and,
yeah.
in the spring and everything else. But live performances, it's just something that can't be beat. Okay. The last, we'll say Broadway show that I saw, I guess it technically was on Broadway, but I seen the movie Hamilton, and it was about a year and a half ago. We finally got up to New York and saw it there. And it was, it's just, there's
Oh, fabulous.
no
Just
comfort,
fabulous.
no,
No.
no comparison, to get out to it. And Annapolis really does bat out of their leagues as far as arts go, I think. And I mean, we look at it, and I don't want to talk about the competition, but I mean, we've got plenty of theater companies that are in
Yeah.
town. I mean, there's what, 4 or 5.
There are
And
several community theater groups, which of
you
course
well,
is
you
a little
guys are, and I
different.
want to get to that. I mean, you guys are not
We're
a
not community.
community theater, okay? I
No.
mean, it's not
We-
Frank down the street
No.
is playing,
Yeah.
Billy Bob. You are a
Professional.
professional,
Yeah.
and you're also a teaching
Theater.
theater.
Yeah. So we have, we pay our actors, we pay our directors, our technicians, all of that. We're community theater, of course, can do wonderful stuff, but it's all volunteers. You have a ringer in there and, it's kind of a hit or miss thing. That's what I feel. But I love
Sure.
community theater. I came up in it. But professional theater is a different, I'll tell you, I used to be an actress for many, many years in community theater, but I did movies and things like that on the side. But I went for a community theater audition. I thought, oh no. It was terrible. And I thought, I'm spoiled now. I've been doing Compass Rose where people who walk in, they knock your socks off. They're just fabulous.
And they're ready to hit the ground running, and
Oh, yeah, and their
they just happen to be
voices.
in Annapolis today and not.
Yeah, and they
you know,
drive from Frederick, they drive from Fairfax, they drive all over. I mean, there's people that come in, stay in Annapolis with like host families, like they do with the midshipmen, to be in Compass Rose shows to get a professional credit on their resume, which is pretty fabulous. And more than once, I've had. It's even, I know I'm biased because it's me, but on the other hand, I'm also a really good critic because I'm like, this better be good, right? And if I see something I don't like, wait a minute, let's fix that. But people have said, I saw Annie on Broadway. This was better. I was like, ours was better? Like, absolutely. So part of it is that we're intimate. You're kind of a part of it. And the other is that the talent's just way more than you would expect.
Well, and the neat thing about live performances is that you can modify it, okay? I mean, if you were to get Hamilton in here, I mean, it would not be the same as Hamilton that you see in New York, or even the Hamilton that you may have seen at the Kennedy Center or any of the places where it took the road shows, because you've got the ability to turn around. I know that you're getting ready to open up with your good man, Charlie Brown. We have all seen that either on television as a special that rolls around once a year, or perhaps we've seen it in theater.
Yep.
Guaranteed that Compass Rose is going to have something different
Yeah.
than that. And that's what I love about that. When you've got somebody that's got a creative director, and you do have a new creative director here, is able to turn around and say, okay, I'm going to put my spin on it. I'm going to put my fingerprints on it. And I know we talked to a gentleman that works within the theater, Atticus Bodie.
Yeah, I know.
And he was saying that when he goes in and works, director, I mean, he says, it's one of those things like a photographer. He says, you go in and you look and you go, oh yeah, I can tell that Atticus directed that.
Right.
Or I can tell that Mary directed that.
Yes.
Because there's just little things, and photography is the same thing. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
he got that angle because I know who that photographer is.
Yep. And we have to, Hamilton probably has, $1 million budget or whatever. That is not our budget,
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how to put on a professional show on a shoestring budget, and we pull it off, thank God. And we also have donors that help support us because, theaters cannot survive on ticket sales alone. You just can't.
No.
Productions, a musical can be $25,000.
And you, as a professional theater, have another, another hurdle to go to pay your actors and your, the people that are making it all happen there.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting ready to open up your Good Man Charlie Brown on September 18th. It runs through October 4th, and that will be your debut at the new place at the mall.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
And now there's plenty of parking at the mall, which is good.
Plenty of parking, places to eat, and I think people just shopping are going to see the poster. So I feel like we might bring in new people that maybe aren't necessarily theater goers, which is always wonderful because you want to bring in fresh blood and younger people. Because, our audiences tend to skew older unless you're doing like Annie or Charlie Brown. Then you have the moms and the dads and the grandmas and the kids. And so the young people are getting introduced to
You guys ought to do a flash mob before your opening night.
Yeah.
Just
right?
get out there and have them just quick do a lap around the mall, singing Your Good Man Charlie Brown, then come on back in and be like, what was
You're
that?
the kind of reminder we need. You have humility, nobility, and a sense of honor that is very rare indeed. Woo! You're a good man, Charlie Brown, and we know you will go very far. Yes, it's hard to believe, almost frightening to conceive.
I know. Yeah, we just cooked up a little idea to bring our Charlie Brown cast in for a rehearsal and keep the doors open and let people hear a little bit of it. So if you go to the mall, you might get lucky.
Well, I know you're not the creative director behind Your Good Man Charlie Brown, or are you?
So I'm the producer.
Okay.
The director is Tracy Adler, and the musical director is Barrett Johnson. And then Madeline is our artistic director, who's like in charge of the whole season.
Okay.
So, we give directors a lot of leeway because it's their vision. It has to be their vision. So we just had to make sure the quality is right and everything stays on track within budget and that kind of thing.
What can we expect on September 18th?
I think you're going to be surprised. Even I, who know Charlie Brown, seeing the story, you're going to see adults playing these peanut characters who are kids, right?
Right.
They were actually started 6, 7, 8 when the series started,
Right.
and then they grew up into it. You're going to see a very diverse cast. One of the things I'm most proud of Compass Rosa, we're very diverse. I don't care who you would think is the lead. The lead is the best and most talented person. So I love that about us.
Well, it's funny when you talked about, is when Peanuts came out and everything else, but this one particularly seems to be attractive to older and younger. Okay. So, you're going to have, I imagine with the increased space and the increased seating and stuff like that, you're going to have some youngsters that may never have been exposed to Charles M. Schultz and Peanuts.
100%.
And you're going to have adults going like,
oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
But great.
Don't kick it, Charlie Brown. Don't kick it. She's going to pull it. She's going to pull it.
Exactly. And it's a very funny show. It's a very funny show. I've laughed at many a rehearsal.
Well, how did you pull the cast? How do you guys cast your shows? You put out a casting call and that goes out into the trades and stuff and says, hey, I'm here in Annapolis, and
yeah,
sort of pick and choose and say, hey, I could be down there. Or
yes. We often, again, mostly, it's often local, but sometimes not local. We can get up to 400 people applying for 400 people submit. And for us, you have to pass the submission test, which is you're sending a monologue, you're sending in a song, whatever, and then you have your resume. And then we have to whittle that down to maybe 160, whatever it is. And then from that, it's an 8 to 10 cast. So you're getting the cream of the crop every time when you're starting with 400. It's pretty fabulous. It's tiring for the directors after see everything, but that's when you really see talent.
Yeah, it's got to be so hard to be an actor today,
Oh
or any
gosh.
day.
Yeah.
Because they talk about in sales that you got to hear no 3 times before or 5 times before you hear that first yes and stuff like that. But I've just got to imagine with so few productions that are out there, with so many actors that are out there, that it's just got to be. There's another no.
Yeah.
We're talking, okay, how big is the cast for Charlie Brown? Was it a dozen?
I think
Maybe?
it's 8.
Okay.
I think 8 or 9, something like that. And we cast understudies or swings so that if anybody gets sick, something like
okay,
that.
so maybe we've got 15 people.
Yeah,
But you've got 400 that are applying for it
that's right.
that you sent home with a frown on their face.
Yeah. So the
Way to go.
400 don't all show up. The 400 just send an email. Well, it's interesting because one of the things we've noticed is some people don't know how to submit an audition, like how to do a tape, like that you need to know where you're supposed to look and that kind of thing. And so we actually, Madeline talked about holding a workshop on auditioning so we can kind of help actors be more successful because we are teaching theater and that's part of our mission, whether we're teaching a young person the very basics of acting through our classes or camps, or we're teaching, young adults how to audition or how to do characters better or whatever. This may be their first professional show. It could be their 10th. It just depends.
Well, you get a little bit of a tip there. And when you're not producing a show, obviously you're rehearsing for a show. You're not producing a show technically right now. You're in rehearsal for it.
Yes,
it's not actually running.
Yes.
But you also do classes for, like you mentioned, youngsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know last time we talked, I think you said you had summer.
We did summer camps. Our summer camps are packed this summer. It was fabulous. We did some here. at the Quaker House, and we did some at Maryland Hall. Our musical theater class, very popular. Kids really love musical theater,
Yeah.
of course. But there's lots that don't do music, and they want to just know how to act and do improv. And we just did a parent survey, and it was so fun. It was like 4.9 out of 5. Like my kids learned so much. They came out so much more confident. I can't believe they learned something in this short amount of time. Kids are sponges, and if you give them the right environment, they really grow.
And I've got to think that, I mean, I've always heard that one of the greatest fears of most adults is public speaking. And I've got to think that if you've got that, I mean, kids are fearless, okay? They'll tell you what they think and what
Some.
they think. But to be able to get out there, to get up on stage, to learn how to, I mean, the mechanics of it. Okay, you need to project. Put
Yes.
them. Don't be talking down, and
Yeah.
look at people,
Yeah.
and just to be with others to do this. There's got to be a huge, whether they go into acting or not, it's got to be a huge life skill that they're going to carry on from them.
100%, because you have to learn to collaborate, work as a team. There's not one star of the show. It's an ensemble, no matter what it
Mhm.
is. So learning to work with one another, and we give them a lot of freedom of creativity. We have a class and a camp called Creative Play, where they write the whole play, they direct it, they do all of it, so they can see how a play actually comes together. And let me tell you, one of the plays I saw last summer just blew me away. I was like, the kids wrote this. They took every Cinderella and Rapunzel and whatever, they mushed them all together with all those characters, had a narrator, and turned it into a mystery. The narrator was killed, and you had to figure out, was it Rapunzel or was it Cinderella or was it whoever? And it was so creative.
It was the clue with
Yeah.
fable characters.
Yeah, exactly. And Cinderella would say, I didn't think the prince was all that great. And the narrator was saying, blah, 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 blah. They were fun. It was funny. They really came up with this awesome idea.
Have you had any students come back in as for a paycheck, as opposed to having to pay to come here to actually perform in a production of Compass Rose?
Yeah, we've had several students go on to study theater and get a degree in theater. They've come back and taught. Our assistant taught at our camps year after year, which is, to me, like the best compliment you can have, that they remembered it so well. And they say, we actually learned something when we were with you. I mean, because you can go do a play and not really learn a lot, but you can also do a play and learn about acting, learn
I would venture to
techniques.
say you could do a play and you may not think you learn a lot,
Yes,
but
you're learning something. Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
down
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny. I just saw a thing on Facebook today. There's a food truck in town called Smash Burger.
Oh, yeah.
And he put a video up today that he's selling it, and he's quitting because he went to school. I think he said to Boston University for acting,
Wow.
and he
For
says,
him.
I love doing this. This started as a high school project, and I ran it through college, and I need to follow my
Mhm.
love.
Yeah,
And I thought that was like
I
really
wish I'd been
cool.
brave enough to do that. I was too pragmatic as a kid, and even though I did theater all of my years, I thought I need a degree. I got to do business or something like that. So I admire people who go for their passion. And we have adult acting classes. So that's become very popular because I think it does help with public speaking. We've had people who have been in therapy, and their therapist has said, take an acting class. Because what do? You learn about emotion and expressing emotion. Maybe you're afraid to be an angry character, but you get to be an angry character without the repercussions of being an angry person,
Right,
right? So
right.
it's actually very, I think, helpful and cathartic.
It's got to be confusing at home. Is he mad or is he acting? I don't know. It's a fine line. Don't cross it, kids.
That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, right?
It's true. But
If you knew how to act like everything was okay until you could calm down.
Uh,
I wanted to mention, when you mentioned camps, this year we brought The Lion King to 2 Title I schools. One of them had never had a theater program in their school, Maryland City. This school was so excited about having theater. The art teacher got involved and helped make masks, and the music teacher helped with the music, and the ESOL teacher, was like the stage manager. And I saw the entire school transform around this ability to do The Lion King. These kids knocked it out of the park. They were fabulous.
and I wish the schools wouldn't cut art.
Oh, yeah.
As and I use art in a more general term, not not necessarily the crap paper and the decoupage
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but the music,
Music.
and the
Painting. Yeah,
painting,
all that stuff.
all of that, because it's so critical. And I mean,
It is.
I often think about what would Annapolis look like without Live Arts Maryland, Maryland Hall, without, I mean, and we sit here and we look, we've got the opera, we've got the symphony, we've got 2 symphonies, not 1,
Yeah,
2
yeah,
symphonies. We've
yeah.
got, a professional opera company, we've got a professional ballet company, we've got, the theater companies that are here. That's not even touching the live music that comes into like Ram's Head or that play in the clubs and the bars every single night. The talent that we've got here. I mean, we
We are
really,
so spoiled here. I mean, this is the best little town, really. I think people, and it's funny because we did Shakespeare in the Gardens at historic London Town and Gardens over the weekend
beautiful place.
in the pouring rain one night. It was torrential. We
Oh,
were under the tent
I saw that
on
on
Sunday.
your Facebook
It was
page.
crazy. The rain was so loud. We were like, everyone has to project even more. So it was so fabulous. But somebody came over from the Eastern Shore who gives their boat here, and they said, we go into Annapolis on the weekends, and they wrote us a letter about how much they loved our theater and could they become more involved. So, I think theater brings people together and is a real benefit to the community, whether they're going to, you're going to get a dinner and then go see a show or whatever. You're just looking for a place to belong and connect. Theater people tend to be the most friendly, open,
Oh, they are.
accepting people.
3 people said hello to me out in the parking lot. Usually,
Yeah.
usually most people give me the finger. So I mean, hey, I like it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. Well, okay, so Charlie Brown is running through the 10th of October, right? Is that if I have my dates right, or the 4th of October?
Yep, yep, yep.
After Charlie Brown, you're bringing in "It's a Wonderful Life," which
Yes.
is a live radio play, right?
Yes.
That, and then Almost Maine,
Almost Maine.
and that's all going to be at the mall live art space, right?
Yeah, all those 3 places. Yeah, I'll be in live arts. Yeah.
And then you're going to be going back to Maryland Hall for Godspell in March, and that'll be after the renovation of the Bowen Theater, which is the lower theater, the black box theater that's in the basement. It's the former gym if you were playing basketball there back in the day.
Yeah.
So you guys have a really full season.
We do, and we're going to add more to the year because we're actually right now we're going through March, so we'll probably add. We did like a cabaret last year, a musical review. We always do a youth show. We'll probably do another youth show, but I feel like when we went from we did like 60 seats at Maryland Hall. We did a partnership with AACC. We had 90 seats. We sold out like the whole run.
Right.
So I feel like there is a real appetite, and so we have to keep people happy.
What are you doing? You've got 100+ seats now.
Yeah.
In the mall, which is really kind of exciting there.
Yeah.
Are the actors excited to be in the mall?
They're very excited. They're very excited. It's a bigger space. So, people, the nice thing about the small thing is like, how are we going to fit Little Shop of Horrors in this tiny little place? When we do, and it's great, but it's really nice to have a little more space but still be intimate. I don't think that we want to be in a 700-seat theater necessarily, although I have visions of collaborating with the symphony and collaborating with some of the other, resident groups at Maryland Hall and doing a big production. But generally, we like the intimate space.
The beauty of the Compass Rose is that you're not in a 700 or 1,000-seat theater because you are up close and personal. If they're projecting well, you got to duck the spit. I mean, you're that. But you are right there.
Yep.
It almost sucks you into the point that you're like, are you guys in the show or am I?
Yeah. And audiences really are in the show. I don't know if people realize, but it's a different show every night. And I get to see the different audiences and how it's like you create this different energy depending. It's a Friday night, everybody's tired and it's a little quieter. And the actors are like, are they liking this? By the half, they're like a little more pepped up a little bit. Maybe they've had a glass of wine. And then there's a standing ovation. They're like, well, who knew? Well,
I guess they did.
They were just getting over their Friday night, commute or something. So yeah, every show is different.
And then there are some that actually you do literally involve the audience. Because I remember you did the spelling bee,
yeah,
a couple of years ago, where you sucked some people in from the audience to be part of that.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, and that got 7 Helen Hayes nominations, which is, if people don't know what Helen Hayes is, it's like the Tonys, but of DC.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, since I've come on board, I think we've gotten a recommendation or a nomination on almost every single show, which is quite phenomenal.
Again, you're batting out of your league.
Yeah, totally.
You really are. For someone who's never been to a Compass Rose production before, what separates that experience from seeing something at, we'll say in the main theater at Maryland Hall with 650 seats, or, at St. John's that has, I think it's got 750, or, even larger.
Right.
I mean, what do you feel is the beauty of Compass Rose?
I feel like there's personal connection. And I think people keep coming back because they start feeling like a family or a community. And I even see with the actors now, they don't say, "What are you doing next season?" They say, "What are we doing?" And the audience does the same thing. "What are we doing next year?" Like they've become part of the creation of Compass Rose. And they do say they feel like they're part of it. And they also, you'll find it's hard to start the show because they're all talking to each other. And now they're starting to recognize each other. "Oh my God, I see you last season. And when, I saw you at Rent." And,
Right.
I love that. I love that.
You can buy tickets to individual productions.
Yep.
You can buy season tickets.
Yep.
And all that is available at compassrosetheater.org. And theater is spelled English with the American English way,
ER. Yes.
with an ER at the end on there. I mean, what is your background, Barbara? I mean, you said you were an actress at one point.
Yeah.
How did you get sucked into this like the audience
Yeah.
does?
Well, so my background is PR, and I came out of college with a speech pathology degree, which had nothing to do with what I ever ended
Okay.
up doing. And I fell into a PR firm that was doing a lot of advocacy work. I worked with the people that were helping end apartheid. I worked for, reducing the threat of nuclear weapons, like some pretty heavy and important stuff, which was fabulous. And I got to work with, President Carter and Mikhail Gorbachev and Jesse
That's cool.
Jackson. And, but in Annapolis, I was kind of like, okay, just put your head down and, let's just try to be quieter life. And but I thought, what is the job that I can take my passion? I loved acting. I mean, I did shows every year, at least two a year, probably for my entire adulthood, where I could take the PR. And then I'd also spent 10 years doing a child abuse prevention organization where we use theater to empower children. And it was like this job pulled all of that together in one piece. So I had to learn a lot about the production side because when you're an actress, you get all the fun stuff. When you're on the production side, you have to worry about the money and all that kind of stuff.
Right, you get all the crap.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to say no to people, right? I've gotten better at that. So it's been a perfect kind of blend of all of my interests and background. And I think I'm a person that likes community. And I look back before 3 years ago, I probably know 100 times more people now than I did because we're doing all these partnerships and then people come to the theater and I feel like I know so many more Annapolitans. People say, like, "Where have you been?" I was like, "I've lived here 20 years. You have? Where have you been?" I was just a little bit of a recluse for a while. So my extroverted self has come out in full swing.
Well, is there a production in the back of your mind that has not been here that needs to come to Compass Rose?
Boy, that's a really good question. Now, I do love Les Mis. I do love Les Mis. That would be so much fun, but you would need a big stage and you would need a lot of actors. And we tend to do, smaller
stuff, or
pieces.
something that's
But,
adaptable.
I think sometimes we like to do new works, like nobody knows it. Let's give it a try. Let's help build it up. I think that that's a fun thing to do. And Madeline's always has her eye out looking for that. But I've just loved what we've done. I think things like Annie. Anytime we have young people and adults in the same show, those are my favorite because the young people are getting the mission of the organization, which is to teach. And at the same time, putting on a professional show and learning what it means to be a professional. Because it doesn't matter that you're a kid. You show up, you're a professional, you're getting paid as a kid, and you need to know your lines, and you need to know your
Do
blocking.
you pay your kids?
When they're in a professional show, yes, they get
Wow.
a paycheck. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I have parents, "Can we take a picture of her first paycheck and put it on social media?" I said, "Sure, of course. Why not?"
Absolutely. That's
Well, we
so
were their
cool.
history, and when they become a famous actress, they'll come back and say, "I started at Compass Rose when I was 9,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's really fun.
That's really cool. I mean, and you guys have bounced around a bunch. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Maryland Hall, now at the mall. I'm trying to remember. I think you were at the Eastport Shopping Center at one point.
Yeah, before me. And then at the Circle.
right in
Spa
the Circle
Road,
by
yep.
Westgate Circle. And I
Mhm.
even think you were at the office building at like Forest and Spa
Yeah,
up on the hill, something like that.
Yes.
Has moving this around, do you find that you're a little bit more nimble, a little bit more able to adapt there, but does that force you to be a little bit more creative?
It does force us to be creative and resilient. I can't believe how resilient. This is like the little theater that could, but I have not lost sight
Try
of
to hold me down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just envision all the time, will we have our own theater that we can just plant our seeds and grow right there? I think Annapolis deserves to have a home for us, and we deserve to have a home here. So we're always looking for property and, patrons that will help support that dream because I think it'll just exponentially serve the community.
Okay, on that dream, what is your ideal theater look like then? for Compass Rose.
Oh,
I mean, is that, I mean, we've talked about selling out 70, 60
yeah.
seats. We've talked about selling about 90 seats. We're going to sell out Charlie Brown for 100 plus seats at the mall.
Uh,
I mean, you've also said that you don't really feel, I don't say comfortable, but the 600 seat
yeah,
is
this is
not,
not what we want to do,
I
really.
mean,
No.
is it a Ram's Head size room with 300 seats?
I think
That's
it could be, but even just to have 150, I think would be great because we can always do more shows, right? You don't have to have, for someone, Ram said, right, somebody comes through and they're gone in a weekend. We run 3
right.
weekends, so we could have a smaller space and that keeps the intimacy. The stage could be bigger, would be, you have a little more room to move around, don't run into a prop or something. But yeah, I think just to have a nice place where we could teach our classes, do our camps, and also perform and have rehearsal space. And people say, well, why don't you share space with so and so, so and so, or so and so? Well, because they're using their space. We are every day of the year. We are doing something. I almost guarantee it. People go, oh, it's summer. You can relax now, Barbara. I said, are you kidding me? Now we're doing camps and now we're doing auditions for Charlie Brown. So in this moment in time, we are auditioning for It's a Wonderful Life this weekend. We're rehearsing Charlie Brown. We just finished Shakespeare last weekend. Like there's 3 or 4
Thinking
productions
about
going on
camp for
all the
next
time.
summer, and it's
Yeah, we have fall classes starting at Maryland Hall in October for all ages. So
wow.
there's for such a small organization, we do a lot. It's probably why my hair is a little gray and I look way older after 3 years, but it is what it is.
Sound like a day over
So
25.
that's
You're
what
okay.
makeup's for.
But again, and that's something that you mentioned as far as the organization and coordination. And Maryland Hall runs through this all the time. You'll have the opera that piggybacks up with productions with the ballet, and they've got to figure out something. That's why they built that whole wing off the stage to store stuff and everything else. But I mean, the stage it's prime real estate.
It is.
And people fight for it to be able to
Yeah.
do that. So
And rehearsal space too.
yeah,
Same thing.
sure. If the symphony is performing at Maryland Hall and that's your
Yeah.
rehearsal space, well,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
where do you go?
Yeah.
You come here.
Which was when we were in room 308 at Maryland Hall. It's great because we could rehearse and perform there. So that was to have where you can do both is ideally what you want. You don't want to have to move around, but we take what we can get and we do the best with it. And I don't think anyone would have any idea we were schlepping around from place to place.
Secret safe with no, it's not
Yeah,
safe
no.
anymore. But okay,
But I do believe that it's coming. I feel like with the growth that we've had in the last 3 years, there's just another way we could go, but to eventually be in our own space and people be really proud to say I helped create that space for them.
as your executive director, what surprised you the most when you came in here? I mean, it was a new thing for you.
Yeah. Well, that's the level of talent surprised me every time, and I cry at the end of the shows like all the time. Like, really? You've seen this 5 times? I can't help it. There's something about at the end, and they take a bow and
So
audience
Barbara wears
applause.
no mascara that final night.
Yeah, no, it's an emotional thing. Theater is an emotional thing, and you make lasting friendships with people, people that bring their all, and whether it's the director or the actor and building that community. I didn't expect that naturally. As an actor, you go from show to show and you think, oh, now John's my best friend. We played opposite each other, and you never talk to John again unless you see him. Here, I'm seeing the same people come back and being part of a community. So that's been the most kind of heartwarming, lovely thing to meet so many new people and make new friends and new colleagues and that kind of thing. And there's usually a message or something. I feel like kind of theater cracks open your soul a little bit. I think the world is tough and maybe we have to armor up a little bit. I think when you go to theater, all of a sudden you can, like when we did Annie, when they started singing Tomorrow, Tomorrow, the whole audience started singing that with us.
Sure.
Even the teenagers who came from Apex Performing Arts were singing Tomorrow, Tomorrow. I was like, teenagers that are always embarrassed. There's something about connecting to the human experience and sharing it in that moment. It's transformative.
Well, arts is transformative, whether you're, painting something or sculpting something or acting or experiencing it or looking at it. I mean, I don't get emotional at visual arts, but I mean, there's some people that will sit there and go, wow, this painting really, hits me. I look at the painting and go like, what's that?
What is that? Yeah.
That's sort of my speed there. But You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown does run September 18th through October 4th at the mall, which sounds very crazy, but it is at Live Arts Maryland Studio in the Annapolis Mall. Plenty of parking right outside of the Container Store. And if you come in through that entrance right by the Container Store, you can almost run right into it.
Yes, right there.
look for the signs in the mall. Make a night. Get your reservations. Get your tickets. You maybe go to Maggiano's. Maybe go to the food court.
Yep.
Whatever else is
Exactly. Yeah. We're talking in the restaurants now about partnering up with dinner and show. People love to do that. We did that a couple years ago with the Lighthouse
right.
Bistro. We did a dinner. It was so much fun. People they're all theater lovers and
Sure.
we talked theater and did it together. That was a great time. We loved that.
Sure, but you can go to compassrosetheater.org, grab your ticket. You can get them right now.
Yep.
You can grab a season pass as well.
Yes, and if you do get a season pass, you can bring a friend for free on opening night, which I love because you can bring someone who's never done theater, never seen theater.
Oh, fun.
So if you get a season pass, the first opening of every show, you can bring a friend for free.
That's awesome. As a nonprofit,
Yep.
you can also throw money at the Compass
Sure.
Rose Theater as well. So you can go to compassrosetheater.org and there is a donate button there as well. And I do think that, I think everybody that's listening to this needs to support the arts in some way.
Yeah.
Whether that be, and don't ever think that, oh, well, my $20 isn't going to go far. It is.
Absolutely.
And whether it goes to, and I don't mean to pull away from you, but whether it goes to the symphony or to the opera or whatever it is like
we
this,
support it all.
We're so robust. We're so lucky to have
Yep.
the art scene that we do have here in Annapolis.
Yep.
We're doing our own selves a disservice by not supporting them. So find a way to support them.
Yep.
Easiest, most fun way is to go.
Yeah. Getting a ticket is great. But as I said, most companies, most nonprofits, even if you buy a ticket, that's not going to keep us afloat. So even if you make a $5 donation on top of your ticket, somebody mailed me a $5 check one time. It was so meaningful to me because I thought the fact that they spent the time to write a $5 check,
Sure.
I was like, thank you. That was lovely. And then, of course, I'm very happy when someone walks in with a $1,000 check.
Right.
too.
Right. Sure.
But honestly, the $5 check really touched my heart because I thought, what made that person write that $5 check?
That's right. Checks with commas in them are always better.
Well, a couple zeros don't hurt.
Without, but compassrosetheater.org. And I'll tell you, Barbara, would be a chance to be able to go in and peek into the rehearsal that's going on in the room next door.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're the kind of reminder we need. You have humility, nobility, and a sense of honor that is very rare indeed. You're a good man, Charlie Brown, and we know you will go very far. Yes, it's hard to believe, almost frightening to conceive what a good man you are. You are kind. You are kind to all the animals and every little bird. With a heart of gold, you believe what you're told.
Every single solitary word.
You bravely face adversity. You're cheerful through the day. You're thoughtful, brave, and courteous.
And you also have some thoughts before the moment. Let's just say
That you're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're a prince, and a prince could be king. With a heart such as yours, you could open any doors. You could go out and do anything. You could be King Charlie Brown. You could be king.
Everybody says to me,
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
every voice in harmony.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
All I need is one more try. Gotta get that kite to fly. And I'm not the kind of guy who gives up easily. Wonder why they stop and say,
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
never like me anyway.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Trying not to rock the boat, not to make a scene. A good man, yes, but I confess I don't know what they mean. I wanna rise like I should and do everything right, but I lie awake at night
Never sleep,
with questions in my ear.
loud and deep.
I wanna join the dance,
Take the leap.
but the answer isn't clear. Then I hear
Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown.
you're a good man.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Get on the bus. Get on the bus.
Go ahead, get on the bus, Charlie
Don't
Brown.
want to be late for school.
That's right.
don't wanna be late.
Don't want to be late for school. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.